Welcome, ladies and gents. Chris Andre here. You can find me at BetBoxing on Twitter for boxing-related tweets, or you can subscribe to the channel, click that notifications button, and get a new video notified to you whenever it's uploaded. Let's talk about Sergey Kovalev. I know I'm a little bit late to the party with this because he failed that drugs test, and the fight against Melikuziev was cancelled a few days ago now. I think it was 3 days ago. But what I'm going to do is not discuss it in the sense of breaking news type of thing, but more to do with where you think Kovalev should go from here. You know, Kovalev's was a wonderful fighter, a wonderful fighter. Top light heavyweight. He had everything. He was a boxer puncher. His jab was elite. He carried power. His distance control was brilliant. His balance. He was a brilliant fighter. In fact, when I used to have the old Facebook page, before I was doing these YouTube videos, I think, in fact, or was it at the same time? I think it might have been before. I started talking about prospects, guys to look out for, guys that would go on to become, you know, superstars. And before he was known in the West, he hadn't yet come over here. Way before the Cleverly fight, I started saying this guy is the future of boxing. He's the future of the light heavyweight division. When he fought Cleverly, he was still the underdog, and it was in the UK. And you know, I was telling everybody I could find, bet on that fight. You know, I think I would have tipped that on here too. You know, it was. For me, it was a no-brainer, even though Cleverly was the favourite, the guy that they were portraying as the new Calzaghe, the guy that Bernard Hopkins had ducked, everyone was saying, and you know, but I knew Kovalev was special. So you're talking about a brilliant fighter, a very special fighter. But mentally, this guy wasn't right, was he, last few years? I mean, think about some of the controversies he's been involved with, from T-shirts, right, to allegedly sexually assaulting a woman, to allegedly beating up a woman, to allegedly streaming the latest Canelo fight on his Instagram, and thousands of followers tuned in, and now DAZN are apparently looking to take him to court to ask for him to pay the equivalent amount of money of the pay-per-views that he cost them, that would have bought the fight, so to speak. It's just madness. It's one thing after another with this guy, from alcohol abuse to all those rumors have been swirling for years. And listen, as I was watching G-Man Boxing's video the other day on this, and as he says, listen, drinking alcohol helps produce estrogen. You know, so this is why guys that, not so much with spirits, though, I have to say, not so, from what I've read, not so much with spirits. So, you know, he's Russian. Maybe I'm stereotyping here, but I'm assuming it would be vodka. That would be his drink of choice. With estrogen, it's more to do with beer, I believe. That's why you get beer guts and moobs and stuff like that. But generally, alcohol is not good for you. It can cause an inflamed liver too. And the last thing you want is an inflamed liver when you're a professional boxer and having to eat body shots. And perhaps that's why he was so susceptible in the latter part of his career to body shots. Okay, but again, this is speculation. These are all alleged things. I've got to be careful here for legal purposes. But yeah, when I was on G-Man Boxing's channel, check out that channel, really good channel. When I was checking out his video, I was basically saying, I said, look, I think maybe it's time for this guy to retire. He just needs to retire. He needs a therapist or a life coach or something, because he's clearly not right. His mind's not in boxing anymore. I know, you know, a lot of people say, well, he must have come to win to be taking performance-enhancing drugs if he took synthetic testosterone. But generally speaking, for him to even be in a position now, at this stage of his career, where he's looking for alternatives, maybe he's not living the life anymore, maybe his body can't hold up. I'm just not sure if he should be anywhere near a ring. And G-Man Boxing made a very, very good point. He said, see, in some ways, Kovalev is the kind of fighter that I worry about in terms of what would happen for him if he was to leave the sport. You know, what would happen after his career. So he makes a great point there, you know, because he's talking essentially about the guy hitting rock bottom. You know, and that can happen. We saw that with Tyson Fury. He often speaks about what would have happened to him if he'd stayed away from boxing, and how boxing and training got him back into a better place. But the difference is that Tyson Fury is training and living the life now. He's not still out there going on cocaine binges and alcohol binges and all that. Kovalev's still getting himself into trouble. And so although G-Man Boxing makes a great point, the way I see it is that your mind has to truly be in the sport. You know, it has to be in the sport. And for me, it looks like mentally, if he's not in the sport, and as a result, physically, he's not going to be in the sport either. And is it anything more dangerous than an ill-prepared fighter competing at top level when he's past his best? I don't know. I think he's putting himself in danger. But I do agree that he's in that position where he could easily go off the rails if he just retired, because he'd have no focus whatsoever. This is why I think this guy actually needs a therapist or life coach or something. A few years ago, there was news that Kovalev was going to Mount Athos. Now, for those of you that don't know, Orthodox Christians call Mount Athos the Holy Mountain. It's a mountain island, an island mountain basically, just off the coast of northern Greece, where there are a series of monasteries. Only monks live there, nobody else. They've just got an open series of monasteries to get away from the world. All they do all day is pray. You can visit the island as like a pilgrimage, but only men are allowed to go. Women aren't allowed to go, so there's no temptation for those monks and those men. There's no children there or anything like that. I mean, I guess you could go with your dad or whatever, but there's no, children staying there. It's just old men, basically, that do nothing all day but pray and live off the land. They're like farmer monks. And he visited there a few years ago. Now, for him to have gone there, I remember thinking to myself, okay, so he's had he's hit rock bottom now and he's looking for that spiritual experience. He wants to go there, speak to somebody, find some guidance and try and get his life back on track. But he hasn't managed to do that. Even since then, he still seems to continually go off the rails. So let me know what you think for Kovalev. Should he stay in the sport to keep his mind focused? He's going to have to do some sort of ban now. He's going to have to do some time on that ban. Will he, what condition will he be in when he comes back? Do you just want to see him step away from the sport now? Can he ever salvage his tainted reputation for the things that have gone on outside the ring, and including this now? Let me know what you think, guys. It's a real shame. It's a crying shame, because this was once a great, great fighter. Thanks for watching. Chat to you soon. God bless.